next is the karma cause and effect. So through this, then one, so one might think that if one die impermanent, so what? If it's died, then it's finished. But it is not the case. As we say, then after one dies, then one's karma. Karma is karma cause and effect. That is that will determine. So therefore, to understand that is important. So the next is karma cause and effect. And so here it says. Now, Sumba Shitse Rama Mindu Leni Dagir Shashi Dipapam Givecha Tadu Davasha Shesan Nire Ranjuni Mata. So, Sumba means the third contemplation from the four contemplations. Sumba Shitse means at the time of death. It says, Shitse Rama Mindu. We have no freedom at the moment of death, or we have no control over our death. So that we have seen. And at that time, then only the karma is, only karma one can have. One will, all that I will have is karma. And so here it says, so only karma that one can take with oneself. So only the karma is like your shadow following. Otherwise, nothing else. So recognizing this or seeing this, then one always abides by the virtuous activity which will create the the good karma, and one always abandon the non-virtuous activity which is the cause for all sufferings or bad karma. So so all the time abiding by the virtuous activity. So with this understanding, then one must always, every day, Shesa means with this, then Ninre means every day one must look towards yourself and see what you are doing, how you are living, rather than looking outward, look inward, into yourself and see how are you, what you are doing. Because outside there, when at the time of death, nothing is going to affect you, nothing is going to change your life, nothing will help you there. So what will help is inside, whatever you do, whatever, what karma you create, that will benefit you. So therefore, look inwards, it says, every day check yourself. As to what you are doing, where you are. So that will determine what you will face. So that is what the third contemplation is saying. Here, so Sumba le Jundeni, Javi Chuji Kumbo, Taiba Sumba Nanji, Turanza ambition to Sajin Dachava. So here it says that the karma cause and effect. Each and every complete, full understanding of karma cause and effect is a very vast thing. Even unless Buddha himself, nobody can really, kind of completely understand so only when completely enlightened will understand this. But it says, that positive actions or virtuous actions yield good karma, positive result, and non-virtuous actions, negative actions yield negative result. This is very much possible to see, very much possible to experience. This is very very obvious. Migiri ju dunghalji jebu jeba palchir and do. And all that will encompass in this, all the other, minute details, all will more or less be in this. It is basically karma cause and effect is this. It says, so in general, everything is included in this understanding. Tena Kowe Jundeta, Tapi Jundini Bale, Corona Dungal Tawale, and Sambana too. So it says the samsara, there are two cause and cause and effect, and one is the Kowe Junde, to be in the samsara. So the cause and effect to be in the samsara, and cause and effect to be free from the samsara. So there's two kinds of cause and effect. No, Koran Dungan Chitawale, zawa leni sabha tu. So the cause and effect, the common cause and effect for being in the the samsara is of course negative. That is why samsara is known as the ocean of suffering. So as long as we are in the samsara, we are always suffering. So the cause to be born in the ocean of suffering is of course negative. So that is that. And that cause and effect is rooted into why it happened is it is because of one's nyamomba. Nyamomba is conflicting emotions, one's mental afflictions. And so like anger, jealousy, ego, all this. So these are the root cause of one's cause and conditions for being born in the samsara. And that also the conflicting emotions, that also all that is arise from the self-grasping of I. It says this strong self-grasping of I. So it without understanding what this I is, and this I is a non-substantial thing, and then we create confusion. We think this I is so powerful, we create this so powerful, so solid there. So with this, then all the other the confusions arise from this. And this also the I maripam nyomamba thanji zawa timu. So this also create from all from the base of all the nyamompa, which is the afflictions, which is the ignorance. So because of ignorance, all this is created. So main is the ignorance of the same. So from the ignorance, and then this is created. Nani namji korwa kani chung korwi rangjin jin le junri chi penu chi she so mishe bar min tipsewa kalde nami sheba tusan dikwa jarja chin manyongwi yula sem te batar de shishawa mebe namdo yol di bundu de jishawa mebala ngarjung. And this also, so all this is one's confusion, through one's confusion of this I, and then create all these, all this self-grasping, and then through which the anger, this is mine, this is yours, this belongs to me. All this is created through this I. So all these confusions happen, and in this, then the samsara is evolved in this. The samsara is created in this confusion. So it's nothing more than this confusion. So with this, and then one creates all these misunderstandings, confusions, and and then with this, then one has, one will develop great, through this I. Then this is mine. This is, and this belongs to me. I want this. I want that. So all that is desire. So manifest the desire. Desire will happen. And then from that, then and then on that, then different, with that connected, then the ego, then jealousy, stinginess, all that arises from this. So they're connected to each other that way. To happen. And then when you have I, then there's another you there. And then when there's you there, then because of that, then you create anger. You anger on others. So because I is here and you is there, then you have anger on you on the other side. So that is how the anger emotion created that way. On that, then non-virtuous words, words, actions all arise that way also. And then the misunderstandings, and then so all these confusions arise that way. It says, so that way, then everything is included in the ignorance, in the desire and anger. So basically, all the conflicting emotions arise from these three, and then basically so develop into all the other conflicting emotions. so which create the samsara, which create the samsara. So it's a pneumon tusum mena lesam, you see. So if there was no, these conflicting emotions, then one will not create action. One creates actions because of these, because of I, you, then certain things. I need that, you need this, then I don't like you like this. All this, all this confusion will create various actions. So if there is no, kind of these confusions, and then it says one will not create, these kind of actions. One will not create karma. Then, if one does not create karma, if one does not create karma, then there's no, it does not have any, it means through that, then one will not create any cause and condition, and through cause and condition, then there will not be any, the result of the karma, and then through that, then there's no, there's no samsara. Then samsara does not, you do not create samsara that way. So therefore, now when you go backwards, then it shows that the root of all, of all this samsara is down to this, the conflicting emotion as anger, the hatred, and desire, which is rooted in I. So I, which comes arise from ignorance. So these are the root cause of the samsara. So through these one creates various actions, creating cause and conditions, creating karma, and then through that then one experiences samsara. So therefore, so that is what it is saying. Then Kormi Le Janduna Suna Mayimbe Megewa Chui Char Togbe and then it says now from this also then if one puts down into kind of basic category, then Kormi Le the actions in the samsara also, and then there can be virtuous action, non-virtuous actions put together like the 10 virtuous actions, 10 non-virtuous actions, basically. So all the actions can be put that way. Namji Shiju Imbar, Shejan Reshi, Michi Hambata, Namji Chami Koyan, Namji Chami Koyan Temba, to be Jing Redan, Tibet, Jigenji, Nawi Lotine, Jungalji, Jubash Batsu, Nime, To, Nime Baindobe, Te, so those who do a lot of non-virtuous activity and all this. This is, it says, is even after knowing the Dharma, some people don't then don't know how to work towards making the future better, or don't have confidence in these. It's because one doesn't have any practice, one doesn't have any confidence in that. So it says one must again and again contemplate on these and make sure that one has full one can grasp this entire and have the can feel this, so that one knows and truly wants to overcome this, and so when one is able to do that, then when one is able to overcome that, then you are no more, you are no more in fear of death, because you have overcome this, so that way. I think I'd say so knowing that now knowing that I have lived how much ever life. For example, I have lived more than half part of my life. Now even if I have a long life, it is half is gone. So half is there. So till now what you have done, where you go. So now in the future, you can see where you are. So you want to improve more. So you must urgency, and then work hard, and then try to accumulate as much virtuous action, virtuous good karma as possible, and try to so that way one must practice the Dharma as much as possible. So one must do that. Tadaranchida Gurunan Hemsari, Chudundubi, Sinor Togu, and Henda Sola, Sandadama Meto, and Nungai Chuji, San Churde. So says so knowing all these, then one must not be so enslaved by the the material kind of material wealth, food, clothes, all these kind of things. One must of course have good food, good everything, but to not get slave to all that. One must know that all these are impermanent, and at the end one cannot take all this, no matter how much one has, and work towards something that will benefit you this life and future lives. So therefore, that is the Dharma, one's virtuous action. So one must abide and try to accumulate that. It says, Fujisan Churde, Agenda, Jenda, Suhaldo, Dupatam, Hachi, Chiji, Lola Tambanamna, Dedaki, Ninga, Chichin, Chiwala, Jiba, Atsama. And so again and again you think of these, it says, you think of that and contemplate. So this is the impermanence, kind of explanation of the impermanence through literary. So as I said, one can always do, practice Vidyanamadi in two ways. One is the intellectual meditation, which is through like this, word by word, trying to contemplate on that, and then meditating on this. So one will develop confidence in this, and one will develop need for and the urgency to practice the Dharma, and motivate yourself to practice the Dharma. So that is one way. Now the second way is, as we said, that doing meditation by putting yourself into the picture itself, and so that way one can really practice. So I remember. Sometime back I was teaching this to somebody, and they said, "Oh, I don't want to practice this. It is too much." So if it's too much, then it is good. It is showing that it's making effect. Then you need that. So here, what you do is, for example, one can take any example. When you look something that is effective. For example. There are so many stories of sudden when one comes to know of a great illness suddenly, and then with that then loses life. So these one knows a lot. And then one now imagines oneself also like this. For example. And then first you imagine yourself very healthy, very happy. Then you go, you think of going for a holiday, to, let's say, okay, this thing also happened to somebody, so I will tell you that. So you think, I will imagine this. So and then you go to South America, Colombia for a holiday. Then there I heard there's some mountain, I don't know which mountain. And then I like trekking, so I want to trek over the mountain, so I go for the trekking. So this is, I save money to do all this, so I pay all this, and visa is a big problem. So trying to get the visa, everything, I do so much hard work, and then I go for my holiday. Then I reach there, so all this you visualize, yourself doing this. And then you visualize yourself, now finally, through all the hard work, you reach there. And then you decide, now tomorrow I go. So tomorrow comes, then you go for the mountain, and then you're walking in the mountain, and suddenly you find little, heaviness. There's some altitude problem, and then because of that you get sick. So you cannot climb the entire mountain. Then you are brought back to your room, and then you have some breathing problem and all this. Then you start, coughing, and in the cough then some blood coming out. And then you get worried. Then you ask the doctor, and then the doctor says, "Oh, it's okay, no problem. It's just there's just some dryness, and so it will go away." Then so you think that way, and then you keep staying, and then you never stop coughing blood. It goes on and on. Then finally, after say about a week or two, then you come back to your home. Still you're coughing, and you are getting more and more coughing. Cannot sleep. All this happening. Then you go to a doctor, and then they put you into a hospital. And then they say they have to do many checkups. So they do this check, that check, so many checks, and then every time you are waiting for your result. So eager, and doctor is never giving you any answer. So just saying you have to stay longer, need to do this more, that, and your finance also. Money is going. You're in the hospital. So all that happening. Then finally the doctor says, okay, this you have to go to another place you cannot find. And then you shift it to another place again. Trying for better. Then you go to a better hospital, bigger hospital, and there they check, and then suddenly they say you have got cancer. Then you try to feel that, when suddenly you hear, that now you have got cancer. The fear, you try to feel, how it is. And so suddenly now, for a moment you're blank. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's happening. Whether you have heard it right or wrong. So you try to continue. You try to think and hope it's not true. So you again and again ask. And then the doctor says yes, and you cannot imagine, you cannot believe, because you are perfectly fine. Suddenly this, and then you go ask, you have some more opinions, you go to more doctors, more hospitals, do some more checkups, and everything shows that you have got cancer. So now you have to be in hospital, you have to go through cancer treatment. So you go one by one every day, then they say some cancer, or whatever cancer you want to choose. So you do this. So day by day your body is becoming weaker, your everything is becoming harder, and then you have to spend so much, so that way. And then the doctor also doing this, that, taking out blood, doing all these kind of things. Then your friends come, you are already in so much fear, pain. Then your friends come, and then all of them, then you are asking, why, if not a practitioner, then you ask why this happened to me. It's very difficult to answer why, so why happening like this, and then your friends will come, your relatives will come and say, don't worry, you will get better, it's just, be strong, you'll be okay, this and that. Then you think whether it's true, whether they can really say it's okay or not, whether you'll really be okay or not, whether they can really guarantee your life or not. If you look at it, it's not, they're just saying empty words, they're just saying to motivate you, to make you feel happy. Can they really guarantee you will not die? So it is just empty words, so you think of that. So you experience all that feeling that you have through that. Then after some time, you are lying on your bed. Then time comes where you cannot get out of your bed anymore. And then everything you are dependent on people. To go to the bathroom, you are dependent on people. To eat your food, you are dependent on people. Everything is dependent. Till now you have been so independent. Suddenly you become dependent like this. So feel how much pain is there, how much struggle is there, how much all this there. And then, so at that moment you see, what friends cannot help you. You spend so much money, whatever you have earned throughout your life, you are spending for your treatment, but all that is not really effective. It is not helping you too much. Then you try to talk with the doctor, all kind of things, but cannot help. So nothing seems to be working. So that way you that. Then finally the doctor, after all this, after staying for months and months, then the doctor will say, okay, now it's too late, we cannot do anything. You just have maybe a month or so. So whatever you want to do, you do. Whatever is your wish, you do that. And now this is your final part of your life. Then at that moment, now what do you have? It's already time to go. So how much can you do? And what can you do to really help you to overcome this? Not much. It's already the end of life. So that way one reflects. So all this is involvement. So at that moment you reflect all this pain, and then you think, now. So this is first you kind of recognize and feel the urge, the pain, all that. Then after that, then you think, now what can really benefit you at that moment? All this confusion, all that. Then at that moment, now you see, what can I take with me? So you will see your wealth you cannot take, your family you cannot take, anything you cannot take. So the only thing one can take is one's good karma and the action that one has done, and so the karma one can take with you. So you see whether you have done, how you have lived your life, whether you have lived a good life, or whether you have lived a normal life, or whether you have lived a bad life. And so you reflect on that, and then you assess your life. So this part is so that way, and then one will develop the urgency, and then you will see that only that you can take with you. Other than that, nothing you can take with you. So when you assess that, then you will feel the urgency to do something right now. Because then, right now, you are not in that state. But when you are in that state, you have experienced how it is. So just now when you are not, then you can change that. You choose this. So you choose whatever you want to choose, whichever will give you the most effect. So you choose that, and then you try to continue it. I won't keep talking in between because I already explained to you. So you try to put that into your practice. Try to feel that into yourself. And that is very important. Okay. So first, of course, we just start with the refuge, bodhicitta, and then we will do the practice. Because this has to be a practice for for the further development of us. So that is right. Sanje Chudha Sanje first you just do maybe 7 times the breathing, just 7 times, and then after that gradually stop concentrating on the breath, and then gradually as you have maintain this calm abiding state of mind, then you go into your practice. Okay. But without understanding of emptiness also, if one performs a virtuous activity, then that will lead to one's higher rebirths. So that way it will lead to higher rebirths. So now here talks about the 10 virtuous and non-virtuous actions. So the first, the 10 non-virtuous actions talks. So first is taking life. So taking life, it says whether big or small, doesn't matter. With intentionally taking life. So that is intentionally taking life. And that is one non-virtuous action. Then Gentinor Majimbal go to Cuba. Then second is stealing. So others, when others have not given you, or you take it, then that is stealing. Or go means through various means, you trick people and take. So there's various means of stealing. So some stealing is sometimes it looks very skillful, but it is stealing. So that way. So all kinds of that kind of things which is not meant for you, you take it. That is stealing. So Shinjinaji, Zimbabwe, Cuba, Domde, Dabo, Jen, Yobaso, Yuji Gune, and Doja Maimba. Then the third is sexual misconduct. So I think this all of you know. So breaking relationships, getting into so these kind of things. Then how do you say so something that is not expected, should not be done. One does these kind of things. So that's called sexual misconduct. So these are through the three physical laws. Then now there are the four through the four speech or the vocal law. That is Jun that So Jun means to lying. Knowingly, then if one lies. Unknowingly, if something says, then that is not lying. But knowingly, then one says something else, then that is lying. So lying. Consent should be maybe Tama. Tama means it's English. What is it like? I knew this word. It's creating discord.
Discord.
Yeah, maybe it's creating between two people, creating misunderstanding. For these kind of things. So Tama. So this is. I knew this initially. Tama. Then Kumata Javaso Genji Junjuj. Then Tsikzu means harsh words. Harming others. The mean words using. So this it's very strange and not very good practice. Some people have this habit. In the Tibetan society also, a lot of older generation, maybe not meaning bad, but then they use such, they give names to other people through looks. Somebody who has a big head, they will call him a big head. So he will be known for his life as big head. So which as a person, I'm sure he feels, but then maybe he did not express. Sometimes like there's one very in Sheratling, there was long time back one monk, and he was a monk who was they were young, and older than me, but still young. But young monks normally like every other young people are very active, right? Like to play, like to don't like to study like this. But this monk was very studious all the time. He's like old man. He's always studious, don't like to play, sit with the old people. He's always like this, listen to the old people talking. Some people are like that, so he was that kind. So everybody call him Lagin. Lagin means old monk, the old monk. So they call him Lagin. And he was called Lagin, throughout his life. And then later on, after he grew up, he derobed. He left his monkhood. He married and he derobed. And he became a lay person. But his name stuck with him, Lagin. And then he's very upset, he gets very upset when people call him Lagin. Because it does not mean only old person, but it means old Lama, So that means normal Lama, people still calling him the old Lama, so he gets very upset, So this is, maybe it started as not a bad thing, but then still, it hurts people. So one must refrain from such things, things to hurt people, so that kind of things. Slandering means then Ngakchal means gossip. This I think everybody know. No need to say. We are very good at gossiping, and we waste a lot of time. And then we create we create confusion, we create misunderstandings through lots of gossips. So gossip is not a very good thing. So here it says, of course, talks on wars, talking about wars, decorating the wars, and then Chong means of the business, so normally, and this is for the practitioners, so when it's for the practitioners, then these are gossips, talks of even business and women, and so all these talks is kind of a waste of time, so that is what is under the gossip says. So here it even says like the wasting time, like just singing and dancing and just wasting time that way. So this is talking to the monks, I think, but basically, and now again it depends on how you do it. With the right intention, right motivation, it becomes useful. If it's just like that, wasting time, then it's just wasting time. So it becomes like this. So these are for through the speech, for vocal or non-virtuous action. Then 3 through the mind is Jenji Northam, so Ngala Yuna can be Napsem. Napsem means coveredness or something like that. Coveredness is basically if somebody has something nice, you think, I wish I had that. So that kind of thought, so this kind of thought. So that is Napsem. And then the next is Nusem. Nusem means harmful thoughts. Thoughts of wanting to harm, harming others. Genji, when somebody else is happy, then wishing them ill, so that kind of thoughts, harmful thoughts. And then the next is the Lokta, Senghashi. Lokta means wrong view. Like there's no the life after death, there's no previous life, there's no karma cause and effect, so there's no Buddha, there's no three jewels, so all like this, so these kind of wrong views basically. And then there's no quality in the Dhamma, so it's all brainwashing, this and that, so there are many people who believe like this, so this is called Lokta, the wrong view. Mige was Sunde Bambi, Mige was Jusu, this in total 10. 3 from the physical, 4 from the speech, and 3 from the mind. So total 10. Chubote, Chardoje, Jubinaminchi, Menson, Sunde Jeshin. So with this, and then one performing these kind of activities, then through with the power of that, accumulating the negative karma, then one will be born in the various the realms, the lower realms. And even if one is born as a human being, and then because one has done a lot of action of killing, then one's life will be short. So that is why even if you are born as human, sometimes you are just born and you die. Sometimes you live not much and you die. So short life is because of this kind of karma. It says, and then if one has done lots of acts of stealing, and then one will always be very poor. No matter what, you will always become poor. There are sometimes there are people who are poor people. The documents also I saw. Poor people, then from the West people come, feel bad, then they give them money, education, everything, and they try to support, but somehow they are not able to do. At the end again they'll end up back to where they were. Poor. How much ever money you give, they are not able to sustain. How much ever education you give, they are not able to pick up. So that way, so these are because of one's karma. So otherwise they should be able to sustain. Like others, not because of karma. So these kind of karmas. It says, so Dungal Tumachi Jebe, and number Kundu Ranki, and Jean Shepard, Shepard. Now Miguel Tele, Doba, Su Michi. So the opposite again, so the same thing. I will not go through because it's the same thing. The opposite is, instead of taking lives, is saving lives. So Mijepe so lower, instead of stealing, then you give him, generosity, act of generosity instead of stealing. Then maintaining the right conduct, morality, so that is the opposite of sexual misconduct. And then Damparma always speaking the truth and never speaking lies. So that is opposite of lying. Chami Sheva Dumbaso. So that way, all are the same thing, opposite as to the 10 non-virtuous actions. So the virtuous actions are the opposite of the 10 non-virtuous actions. That is a part of ignorance also. Because we want happiness, we want to improve, we want liberation, but we are unable to do that because we are lost, not wanting to get there. So that is ignorance. So that is a sin that will come. So one must want virtuous actions all the time. So understanding this, it says one must not waste time, always be mindful. Not go with the laziness, not go under the prey of laziness, and always be mindful and careful, and always do as much possible to make this life meaningful and to make a future life, try to make it better, so that way, and then ultimately, of course, to recognize the complete truth. So so even something that's small, if one thinks is a small non-virtuous action, one mustn't take for granted, and one must avoid such things. It says here, example, like even a small poison can kill somebody. So one mustn't just think it's negligible and just leave it, because that will turn into a habit, and it will become worse. Or that way, then, or karma, when do something bad, it will you already feel it. So that way, slowly, gradually, it will collect, and then it will be one will experience that. So therefore, one mustn't neglect anything. One must take actions and avoid all non-virtuous actions of any magnitude. Then so even the same with virtuous action, whether it's negligible, one must practice and one must do the virtuous action as much as possible. It is like it says here. It says maybe in Tibet they use maize. You make the tsamba is barley. Yeah, so grain is very small, right? So, but then lots of grains together will make an entire, sack of barley. So, so here we say drop of ocean, drop of water makes an ocean, right? So is that, so we mustn't look, down on the small good things also. Even a small thing as virtuous action as a small thing also makes a big difference. It is a accumulation of merit in your bank. So which you can only take at the end. So one must do that. One must always try to do, irrespective of what magnitude it is. Vijaya, Mansara Vijayando, so Jachimbo to be 10 Turijin, then Jedo, Toma, Shajun to be Jen, then one must do all these activities, and then it talks about for somebody who has done the same thing again. One has done lots of life with these, saving lives, not taking lives. So this way, when one does, then one will enjoy long life. And then manme pushing kuso jimbe, and then making like the butter lamp offering, then the acts of generosity, giving clothes, so these kind of things, acts of generosity act. Then one will enjoy zugzang, means good looks, good appearance, good looks in your next life. So that way, one will appreciate those. And then Amata Chuji Tola Najan maybe Kudishipe Rikto, and then to your Dharma friends, to your other friends, to the lamas, to the so if you have respect, if you don't kind of disrespect them, if you are nice to them, then that way with that karma, then one will enjoy good Rikto. Rikto means your next life will be of good quality, of good. In the olden days, maybe rig is caste, higher caste. But olden days, it makes big difference. If you are born in a lower caste, you don't have much freedom. You don't have any opportunity to do anything. It is important to be born in the higher. But nowadays, maybe not so much. Nowadays, but then you will be born in in conditions where you will be able to do things. So basically, it means that. Then Yundin Chen Ta Nepa Utonso Dongal Chen La and Dugu Jimbe Longjin Long Shu. So Yundin Chen Da Nepa, and then if one Utonso Dongal Chen La Dugu, if one gives to sick people, to the needy ones, these kind of activities, so which I think in the West is very good. They stress a lot on the social activity and all that, so these kind of actions it's talking about, so but it has to be genuinely, not for one's own gains or such like that, so you've done that, and then one will enjoy means what do you say, comfortable life, good status, good name, all this. Now, why all this is? Not because you need all this to become greater, but when you enjoy these things, automatically, for your while doing practice, while involving with others, you will become more effective that way. Imagine if somebody like say in India, still caste system exists. So somebody who's from the lower caste knows the teaching and tries to preach to people. Nobody listen. They will not listen. He's not even allowed to enter the room. How will he do? Somebody who's from a higher caste knows, and starts preaching. Everyone will think he's talking the truth. Everyone will think he's, so that way. So in that terms, so certain conditions, if is favorable, then it will be favorable for one's activity, or so to benefit beings. Also, it will be that way favorable. If conditions are not right, then even if you have the intention, sometimes it is not so powerful or not so favorable. So that way, all these conditions are to make those conditions favorable for you to be able to benefit others, for you to be able to benefit yourself. So for this purpose it is, not for just becoming good looking, or not just for rejection. That will take you deeper into the samsara. So it shouldn't take you deeper into samsara. It should free you from samsara. So these are for those purposes. So when done, that is why I said right intention is important. When it's done with the right intention, then the result will come right. When it's done with the wrong intention, then it will root you deeper into the samsara. So that is why intention is very important. Nga gyo kona shebe So one who always speaks the truth, always virtuous words like this, then such people have power in their speech. This is also true. Some people, whatever they say, people will believe. They have confidence. Somehow, some people have this. So this is because of this virtuous action. Some people, no matter they must be telling the truth, but somehow people just don't believe them or won't take them serious. Because of lack of this. So that way, it benefits others. So if one serves one's parents, then and then makes offerings to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all like this, and then through that kind of accumulation, then and then makes good aspiration to benefit beings. So from such, then one will enjoy Wangtang means great presence. One will enjoy presence, good presence. Everybody will be fond of you. Everybody will want you. So that way. Kebal Gashing. And then if one does Dhamma activity without any strings attached to it, such as fame or wealth or like this, if one does Dhamma activity purely to benefit beings, and then as a result one will enjoy great means great power. Power means here to benefit beings. Enjoy power, limitless power to benefit beings. So that. And there we middle pinch, Teju Miguel Pamala, Tapgube, and then Shiba Susunam, Chadunjigewatang. So one who wishes to be free from sufferings of the samsara, then one must abide and by the virtuous actions, and one must abandon the non-virtuous actions, and one must accumulate positive karma. So that is what I'm saying. And one must always train oneself in doing this. So, Sunam Tadunjine, number so it says the first habit of the Jutambo is the first condition, or the first condition for for being liberated from the samsara is the first condition for attaining enlightenment or attaining realization is the renunciation of the samsara, samsara, suffering of the samsara. So renouncing this, the thought of generating the thought of renouncing the samsara is the first step to liberation. So that is true. If you are very happy in the samsara, you don't mind being in the samsara, and then you will not think of liberation. You are happy this life, earning money, this, and you will be carried away in this. You will not think of liberation. You will not think of the ultimate goal. So the first thing is understanding the samsara, knowing the downfalls of the samsara, then wanting to genuinely be free from these sufferings of the samsara, then wanting to renounce these sufferings of the samsara, because these are understanding this is nothing but just a temporary, temporary. Everything is impermanent. So nothing can give you the total freedom or happiness. So only that is possible when one attains a realization of free from the suffering. One realizes this, all the samsara is nothing but one's creation of the mind's creation, and the mind itself is limitless potential. So when one recognizes that potential, then one is free from the samsara. So one, in order to do that, then one has to first genuinely want to be free from samsara, the sufferings of the samsara. So that is the first step. That is the most important step. So when one has strong morality this way, then one's even the one-pointedness, the meditation also gradually will develop. If one doesn't have strong morality, no matter how much shine you do, you will not be able to have good shine, because your mind is always confused. It has too many things, too many conflicting emotions. But when you have strong morality, virtuous morality that way, then your mind is already subdued, it is in control. So that way, when you do the meditation also, it will easily able to achieve the one-pointed meditation. So that is why morality is very important in meditation also. Te ju name do bishirab ji tawadon te ju name do bishirab ji medabadon dunawa. So through that, then gradually, through this, then one will recognize the non-self of this confusion. One will be able to cut through these confusions. And Sharabji and and then one will see what is the the right thing and what is the wrong thing, and gradually be able to avoid the conditions for the samsara and accumulate the conditions to free from the samsara. And so so that is what that is what it means by falling into the samsara or being free from the samsara. So that is what it means. So it says in general or in brief, then deva means virtuous action has the positive result, the happiness. And then non-virtuous action has a negative result of suffering. And it is just that, simple as that. So one mustn't get confused. It is just this, and servant. So it is like, it says, it is like sowing seed. If you sow a seed of barley, you will get barley. If you sow a seed of apple, you will get apple. You cannot get sow a seed of apple and get barley. It's impossible. So karma causing effect is like that. So what you sow, then you get the result of that.